this one, let's go ahead and do a top 10 list. Now, I have been requested this in the comment section a couple of times, and as everybody knows, I am a man of the people, a man from the streets, and the Lord of the underground. So I will go ahead and fulfill the request, and that is top 10 Joker figures from McFarlane. Now, actually, I thought we have received tons of figures based on the Joker from McFarlane, and although we have, it was, a narrow little list of figures. It wasn't as many as I thought it was, but I was able to compile a top 10 list. Now, I only had to omit a couple of figures, and I actually do have some honorable mentions. So let's go ahead and get into those. This is going to be the top 10 figures of the Joker from the DC Multiverse released by McFarlane. Now, my honorable mentions are going to be, first off, right here next to me, we have the Joker bot. Now, this isn't necessarily a Joker figure. I mean, it is in a way. Has some cool designs on it, like a body horror, because he does have that switch around head. Now, this one I actually painted up silver, like a higher silver than the original plastic, but I do have plans to add a little bit more details to the suit and stuff like that. I just haven't gotten around to it. But he's an awesome figure. Now, he didn't make the list, and he's not your traditional Joker, like just in his regular clown suit. So he's my first honorable mention. I also have the Mortal Kombat Joker. Now, the reason he's an honorable mention is because he's actually from the Mortal Kombat line. Although produced by McFarlane, he is not from the DC Multiverse. But for all intents and purposes, he does have the same design as a DC Multiverse figure, and he still fits in with the line. But he's more of a, I don't know, being from the video game, when you look at this Joker figure, he has more of like a realistic feel to him, or live action. Now, being from the game, that of course attributes to the way they designed him. Pretty cool figure. You can fudge him in if you would like to in the DC Multiverse line, but I just thought I would go ahead and put him up as an honorable mention. Now, my last honorable mention is going to be actually my custom serial killer Joker. Now, I did make this guy by using the Arkham body with the head that actually comes with the Straitjacket Batman from Last Night on Earth. Now, he has a lantern that has a Joker head inside of it. One of my first customs I could sort of remember was taking out the head from the inside the lantern. I actually replaced it with another Joker head that was a little bit more comic accurate. And then I went ahead and made this custom. Changed up the color scheme a little bit. Gave him that red bow tie so he could be like a red bow tie killer. He is like a serial killer in my world. He has that creepy, horrible face to go along with it. So he's an honorable mention because he's not actually released in the line. He's actually from my sick mind. So that's the last one. We're gonna go ahead and get into the list. Now, coming in first at number 10, we actually have the Criminal Joker from the Three Jokers wave. Now, it was really hard. He actually beat out Vampire Joker, which I do enjoy, and also the White Knight GTO Joker, Jack Napier. Those figures, although I do enjoy them, as everybody knows, when I make these lists, it kind of depends on which figures I play with the most or move around the most, or that I have more of an attraction to. And then I start off taking off ones that if I had to choose in my collection, I could get rid of this one. And this guy barely made the list, and those other two didn't even make the list. So he has a pretty weird take on the Joker, because this is all business, no nonsense, no comedy, no laughing version of the Joker, where he's just a straight up sort of crime lord that'll kill you on the drop of the hat. Now, of course, that goes for all Jokers. They'll all kill you without a second's hesitation, but He squeezed onto the list. I do enjoy him. He has that deadpan face that you don't usually see in a lot of Jokers, or in any, as far as I know. So it is a unique take on the character. Comes with a cane. That is the criminal Joker. Coming in at number 9, we do have the Infinite Frontiers Joker. Now the reason he's number 9 is because I don't really have a connection with this Joker. Don't really know him from the comics. He is the one that is missing an eye. But he is kind of fun and kooky. He's like an out there design of the Joker. A lot of people made fun of this one when it was released, but I see no problem with it. It is just a different take on the Joker. It is from the comic source material. Now I gave him a custom golden revolver to have in his hand, and I really like the way he looks. Not for everybody. He is like an out there design for the Joker, but if you know me, you know I have an out there personality, so fits right in with me. That is the Joker from the Infinite Frontier. Now coming in at number 8, we do have the Death in the Family Joker. Now this is going into more of Todd's wheelhouse, where you have a crazy sort of killer version of the Joker, where he has actually cut off his own face and then replace it onto himself, a la Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And it just gives off that sinister vibe that not everything is completely normal with this one. And I like the sculpt work of the head. I mean, a lot of these Joker bodies take a lot of parts from each other, so you could actually mix and match. But for the creepy factor and the design, you know me, I like a lot of dark, evil stuff. So he went ahead and made the list. That is the Joker from Death in the Family, with a pretty nice bloody axe placed in his hands. Now coming in at number 7, if you're going to have a DC collection and you have the Dark Knight Returns figures from the comics, you actually need a Joker to fit in. Now, a lot of people weren't happy with the design of this Joker. I mean, the head sculpt. I personally have come to like it. It's a pretty evil take on the Joker. He looks pretty demented and maniacal. Gave him a gun, fits perfectly, looks really close to the comic source material in some panels. Now you know me, I must make a custom version, so I went ahead and made a custom version where he has actually been hit in the head with the Batarang from Batman when they're fighting in the Tunnel of Love, and also gave him a pistol, and he has that bloody Batarang sticking out of his eye, giving him a more like completely deranged Joker that just, he knows the end is near and he's just going for broke. Really like my custom. Underrated figure. I do like that we have an actual subline from The Dark Knight Returns from Frank Miller. So he actually made it onto the list at number 7. Coming in at number 6, another Joker that is iconic and you must have if you're going to have a Dark Knight trilogy portion of your collection, and that is Heath Ledger's Joker. Now, I was really happy with this one. Some people say he's a little bit beefy. It doesn't bother me at all. The head sculpt is awesome. I actually gave him a nice, beautiful pump action shotgun to hold. Really fits in with the character. So I love having this version of Joker in my collection. Now they have made various versions of this one, but they basically use the same head sculpt. They have done the bank robber Joker, which I still need to pick up. The sonar Joker, which I really don't care if I eventually pick it up. I mean, at least one, but I'm not in a big hurry. And they just released the images of the interrogation room Joker. So you got all those versions to choose from. He actually is pretty photogenic, and you could take some cool pictures with this Joker based on Heath Ledger's performance in the Dark Knight trilogy. Now coming in at number 5, how could I skip over the big boy? And that is Titan Joker. Still one of the larger mega figs that McFarlane has released, although people still think he should have been a little bit bigger. Kind of what McFarlane always does, and that is do a loose interpretation of the character. So he's not exactly the same as the DC Direct version. They do have a couple of differences. But of course, this is a more modern, executed Titan Joker that has a lot more articulation and a lot safer plastic that's not just going to break on you like those old Titan Jokers that are notoriously very fragile. I actually like him. He looks pretty cool. How can you have a collection and if you have the opportunity to have a Titan Joker, you're not going to have it in your collection? So of course he made it right in the middle of the list. Beautiful sculpt work. Actually, you could add your own washes and stuff to make them pop a little bit more. I could have gone for an articulated jaw, but that is usually my preference with a mega fig. But he does have a cool monstrous design. So that is number 5, the Titan Joker from Arkham. Now surprisingly at number 6, we actually have coming in the regular Joker from Arkham. Now this was one of the first Jokers from McFarlane to be released in the line. A lot of people were happy with this version. Now actually the paint on the face could have been better executed. They kind of just gave him like a cake white sort of paint on him. You can go ahead and go back and add your own little touches to bring out a little bit more evilness in him. But he does work well. He did come actually in the package with this revolver, which is before Warner Brothers enforced that gun ban with the action figures. But sticks pretty closely to the design of the game, and you can actually fudge this guy in as just your regular Joker in your collection. Tons of cool detail. This is when McFarlane was making a lot of original sculpts for the figures. So he has his chain and his little jester belt buckle, all the little cool details. So that is number 4, the Arkham Joker. Now they do actually have different versions of this one. They have the toxic version that was in the 2-pack with Batman. All basically he is got a little bit of green ooze sprayed on him. And then of course you have the latest one, which was basically the same figure, just with a different paint job and a little bit of different weapons. More dirtied up version of the Arkham Joker. All 3 are really nice figures to have in your collection. Now, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. This is going to be the final 3. Now, which ones could they be? Coming in at number 3, we're going to have actually the Clown Joker from the 3 Jokers wave. Now, the reason he is so high at number 3 on the list is because of his ability to represent a lot of different versions of the Joker. Now, a lot of people would make fun of this one, that he was like a little bit like plump or like fluffy. But I came to think of him more as like based on the body of like Nicholson Joker or even Cesar Romero Joker, which they weren't really like thin or built. They were just a little bit more soft in their design and look. Did give him a pop gun with like a little bang flag, which always fits with the Joker. And he does have a pretty chaotic and fluorescent color scheme. So if I had to pick from all these figures and I wanted a Joker to represent more of just like the Joker in a lot of people's minds, this would be the actual Joker I could go with. Now, once again, you can interswap this head sculpt on the criminal Joker or even the Death in the Family Joker and make your own Joker, which with the versatility that he has is why I put him so high on the list, because you can interswap parts and make your own ultimate Joker. Hey, I might even think of doing that myself here coming up pretty soon, because the head does fit on a lot of different Joker bodies. So that's number 3, the Clown Joker from the 3 Jokers wave. Now coming in at number 2, the runner-up, we do have the Rebirth version of Joker from McFarlane. Another early version of the Joker, because of course he does have his long barrel pistol with him. And a lot of people weren't happy with the paint on this one, especially around the eyes. Now it does actually follow the comic source material from Rebirth, but I think they kind of went a little bit overboard with with the orange paint around the eyes, because if you were to tone that down and add some cool paint to this one, this would actually be your quintessential Joker for your DC Multiverse collection. Just hits all the points, has a cool suit design, the white skin really pops off of this figure, and the green hair really shines in this version. Now I actually went ahead and made my own custom painted Rebirth Joker that toned down the orange around the eyes, give him a little bit more of a toned down paint so he wouldn't be so gaudy, but he still is an awesome representation of the Joker. And if you need a universal Joker to fit into your line, the Rebirth Joker is actually one of the best. Now finally we have made it to number one. I don't know if you could guess who it is. There's only one left. And he is the awesome comedian Joker from the Three Jokers wave. Now you can actually make an argument that this isn't like a standard version of the Joker, but who really cares when you have an awesome figure that looks like this? He has that creepy kind of Killing Joke feel to him. Came with an awesome camera accessory, and sadly at this point the gun ban had kicked in from Warner Brothers, so I actually made this version from one of the long barrel guns, and I cut it down to make it a short revolver that fits a little bit more with the design from the comics of this version of Joker. Cool purple tones on the trench coat and the slacks. He has his fedora hat there, giving him a little bit of a Shadow Realm feel. He like lurks in the shadows and just waiting to to shoot you in the spine. Beautiful figure. I cannot think of my collection without having this version of the Joker in it. It was just beautifully executed by McFarlane, and I love this figure. Now he is going for a high price on the aftermarket now. He's I think around at least above $60, $80. Now I actually have two of these. I do have one in the box per usual when I collect, but man, do I wish I could go back and pick up another one. Would have been awesome to have an extra one to have a little bit of fun with. But he is the crown jewel in my Joker collection from McFarlane, and he displays beautifully up there on the shelf. So that's my top 10 Jokers. You got a lot of Jokers to choose from for your collection, but you guys keep hunting out there, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you on the next one.
Call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Batman.